well, you just contradicted yourself. If it's my personal choice, and I've finally made a personal choice, and by the way, I feel absolutely great for the first time in years, I can truly say that. If it's my personal choice and I shouldn't listen to the community, why should I listen to you? Why, when I suddenly make a personal choice, is everybody, not happy? Because I think I enforced upon many people a bit of an identity crisis. Maybe that's something that you should experience. For many people it's an identity crisis, and for many people there are inconsistencies in their ethics. It's okay to be triggered by this information that I've presented to you. It's okay to feel these things. You are human. Your identity has been shaken. That's okay. That's on you. You shouldn't be making videos about me. You shouldn't be personally attacking me. You should be asking yourself serious questions. Is this choice okay for you? If this choice is okay for you, you will, one, not need to watch anything I do. That's just another guy who eats animal products. If you are seriously secure with your decision to be vegan, then that should be your choice. But I think you're not secure, you're insecure, and you're shouting your insecurities out to the world. This situation is the last thing that vegans need to be highlighting. But the dilemmas, the inconsistencies in ethics that I have raised, you need to be making videos about that. You really, really do. It's a very, very big problem. It's why you're not taken seriously, and it's why veganism has a very high failure rate.
Okay, so long-term viewers of this channel may have perceived a slight erosion in the quality of the audio recently. I think my audio recorder is, I don't know, it's seen better days. Basically, I've not been looking after it. It cost me £10 second hand, and it's been like in my pocket, it's been in the bottom of bags, it's got wet loads of times. It's I think I might have fucked it. It doesn't sound as good as it used to. So I'm probably going to invest in something just a little bit better, so you can look forward to even crisper audio in the future. So today in this video we're going to be doing a cult test. So I put cult test into Google. This was the first thing that came up, and we'll just have a quick look what it says here. Okay, I'd like to propose a scoring system based on thought reform and the psychology of totalism by Robert Lifton, which lists the 5 main characteristics of cultism and other points proposed by John Hoagland. If it has more than 5 points, then it's a cult, blah blah blah. No, if it has 5 points or more, then it may be a cult, or may be susceptible to becoming a cult. If it has more than 10, then it definitely is a cult. Complete this test to check if you'll soon be asked to drink the Kool-Aid or not. Alright, so let's have a look at this. Let's start with question 1 of the cult test. The organization controls its people by group pressure or geographical isolation. Okay, all groups basically have an element of group pressure in them, otherwise they would cease to be a group, really. Well, let's have a look. Which one applies here? There's some pressure in doing as a group says, but no physical coercion. Yes. Let's have a look at the next one up. There's a lot of peer pressure to stay in the group. Absolutely, there's a huge amount of peer pressure to stay in this group. And do as a group says. There may be some light physical coercion. Now, this is difficult because it says here there's a lot of peer pressure, and in this particular group the peer pressure is huge, and to do as a group says it's like follow the doctrine. That is large, but there is no physical coercion. It's kind of hinted at here, so I'm going to go with 1 point instead of 3 points. That's kind of giving a benefit of the doubt. Really we need something in between here that has 2 points. Question number 2. The organization gets people to confess their sins or evils in order for them to be cleansed. These confessions can be used against them later. Some group leaders also confess in public in order to look more human and to put the organization more to their level. Let's have a look here. This second one. Some leaders will share their experiences and past troubles with the group in order to enforce the idea that anyone can do it. Yeah, I've definitely seen this. Like, oh, hey brother, yeah, I used to eat meat too. Like, I ate more meat than you probably do. I ate steak for breakfast and dinner and fucking bacon for tea. Okay. Okay. No superior state of being or purification is proposed. Okay, there is absolutely a higher state of being and purity being proposed. So let's look at the one up from that. Okay, confessions from the members can be used against them in order to get them back into fold. That doesn't apply here. Leaders will share their experiences. A superior state of being or purification is proposed, such as being saved. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one for 1 point. Okay, leaders will share their experiences and past troubles, and force the idea that anyone can do it. And however, I would say a superior state of being and purification absolutely is being proposed. Okay, the organization's methods are perfect. Any fault lies with the person and not with the methods. Furthermore, testimonies and present successes demonstrate that the system works. One must have faith and go on. Let's have a look which one to choose. What's the first one? There is open-mindedness and methods or doctrines are revised when necessary. No undue blame is placed on the person. Okay, if this diet and lifestyle does not work out for a person, it is fully blamed upon that person, so we'll skip that one. Okay, the system works. There are testimonies. People are confident in the success of the system because of them, despite lack of proof. Okay, that one would apply. The system works. A large part of getting new members in relies on testimonies and demonstrations. Absolutely. Successful people are paraded, and failures can be due to people not following the system or being too critical, not doing it properly. Hope and faith makes one more successful. Therefore, motivational is important. That one would work. The last one here. This one's for 5 points. The doctrine is presented as infallible. Okay. Okay, we're going to go with this one, and we'll go through why. Okay, the doctrination is presented as infallible. Now, never before in the history of humankind that we know about has any tribe, society, or anything, any fucking group of humans, right, before this group appeared, completely eradicated meat, fish, and all animal products and insects from their diet. It's literally never been done before in the history of humanity. Okay, it's a completely experimental diet. No one knows what's going to happen long term with it. No one knows how it affects large groups. No, there's no like scientific fucking proof or anything yet of how it affects people over a long period of time and throughout generations, right? It's absolutely experimental. However, the doctrine is presented as infallible, right? Basically, eating a plant-based diet with zero animal products of any kind is seen as not only possible, but beneficial and good. If it doesn't work out for you, as we see it, and any fault or bad happenings are strictly due to people involved. If it doesn't work for you, okay, if you're one of these people who it doesn't work for, this experimental diet that has never been followed by humans in the history of humankind, if this doesn't work for you for some reason, it's because you did it wrong. Right? You didn't do it right. You didn't fucking go on chronometer or something. You didn't have enough fucking avocado juice. Okay, outrageous testimonies, constant reminder of people's successes. Okay, outrageous testimonies I would absolutely include here because let's just pick the many vegan bodybuilders that we see on YouTube, and we're talking about the ones that are quite big. Now, these guys are without doubt on fucking steroids, right? So anyone that is on steroids, not telling their viewers and selling a vegan diet, that is an outrageous testimony, basically, straight up. And I'll even go as far as to say there's one YouTuber who seems to be a bit of a poster child, like, for this. Now if you sort of dig in like deep and stuff, in the past somewhere, like someplace, he's admitted that he used to take steroids and shit, right? Now if you're a big guy, right, and you put muscle on because of your past steroid use or current steroid use, and you don't tell people in your videos, if you don't come out right at the beginning of your video and say, I'm this fucking shape because I was fucking stacked, right, and I was on the roids for ages, plus I eat a vegan diet and I maintain it. If you don't come up and say that, then you're misleading people that are watching, and that counts as an outrageous testimony, okay? Because you're basically saying, you eat this diet, you have this lifestyle, you look like me. You won't look like that unless you stick a needle up your fucking arse, simple as, right? Constant reminder of other people's successes. Okay, members are pushed to continue so that problems will soon be resolved. Yeah, if you have a problem with this experimental diet that's never ever been followed by anyone in humanity until this organization was created, okay, if it doesn't work for you, if you find that if it doesn't work for a person, they're having like some kind of mental problems or physical problems as a result, it's because they didn't do it right, or they just need to push through, you know, like it's just a detox phase. You just need to carry on pushing through, or you need to change your gut flora or some fucking shit. It doesn't matter how bad, literally like in your face, how bad the symptoms are from following this diet. You're told to just go and speak to Goji Man, you know, like. And I'm not saying it doesn't work for everyone. Like, it works for a lot of people, I'd say. But the ones it doesn't work for, okay, it's all put on them, okay? Because the doctrine is presented as infallible, despite there being no scientific fucking proof behind it at all. Because, as I said, it's an experimental diet. All right, number 4. The organization redefines words, especially emotionally charged words, to suit its outlook in the world, and more importantly, the outlook it wants its members to have. The creation of new words or expressions also isolates the member from the outside world. Let's have a look, try and pick one that applies here. Some emotionally charged words may be redefined. Some, yeah, absolutely. Murder, rape, kidnap, that's just 3 off the top of my head. The group redefines. See, it's interesting because, like, one thing I've noticed this is like, I was sort of interested in feminism at one point, and they're like the first sort of like political sort of movement that I came across that were like really focused on words and changing the definition, or like just shifting the definition of words and stuff to like actually literally change reality and a structure of fucking society and stuff. Like, they were really into it, and it's interesting shit. And the vegans have fucking jumped on that, like, in a big way, and they really have been fucking using this like, I almost call it like wizardry of like changing the definition of words to try and change like reality. So with that being said, let's carry on. Some new words are created to aid comprehension of new or unusual concepts. Well, that applies to all groups. The group redefines and creates many words in order to isolate members from the others, non-members, and to reorientate its values as being those of the group. Okay, absolutely. As I was saying before, like, by changing the definition of words and particularly like emotionally charged words, okay, it's gonna literally change the world that the person lives in, okay, like, because this is what the feminists and shit were going about. It's kind of like your understanding of the world and the world, like, a lot of it's based in language and shit. So if you can completely change the meaning of people's words, you're gonna basically change what their reality is. So yeah, it was going to reorientate the values of the person. Let's have a look at a full-blown vocabulary replaces normal language. A full-blown vocabulary does not replace a normal language in this organisation. However, the words do mentally entrap the member. It is difficult for the member to understand non-members after assimilating this vocabulary. Well, I would say, yeah, like if you have literally a different definition of a word, then when you're communicating with someone else, there's going to be an element of confusion and misunderstanding. That's just a given. Okay, like if I decide that, like, when I say green, really I mean red, and I'm talking to someone else, I'm trying to explain something to them, and I'm talking about something that is green, it's going to be a little bit of a misunderstanding going with us, right? It's just general fucking communication. So yeah, there's going to be people that really get balls deep in this organisation and take on the vocabulary and rearrange, like, the meaning of words within their world. They will suffer communication problems with people that have not done that, and we see this in many of the videos, particularly when you'll see it, particularly the stumbling blocks went between these, like, real out there devout fanatic vegans and, say, members of the normal public. What's a real stumbling block is rape and murder, okay, like, because one group sees rape and murder as one thing and the other group as something else, and they're trying to communicate, and it's just a massive block there. I'm going to click this one here for 3 points. I'm not going to go because it's not a full-blown vocabulary. Okay, the organisation asked its members to experience firsthand before criticising. Okay, I don't think this one's going to actually apply, to be honest. Okay, experience is part of what gives one status in the group. That goes with any group, man. Like, the longer you've been doing something, when you've been doing it long enough, you get your OG fucking badge. So that applies to anything. I'm gonna put 0 for number 5. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to a few more points here, which you get 1 point for each one. Okay, salvation. Group proposes a superior state of beingness or salvation. Well, absolutely click on that, because they see all basically eating animal products is consuming suffering, okay, and if you're taking that suffering into yourself or something, so basically you're going to have a higher state of beingness. Morality as well. Like, it's going to be you're going to be a higher state of being, basically, and salvation from your sins, right? If you stop eating all animal products outright. Okay, love bombing. Group promotes displaying excess consideration or even affection towards a new recruit in order to give him a sense of belonging and keep him in the organisation. Okay, it's like, to really pick on this sort of stuff, you probably got to be, like, actually a member. I'm not, but I've seen it in every single group that's similar to this that I've ever been involved with. And I'm betting if anyone's watching this and they're actually involved in these street protests and these groups and stuff, they will agree, and they've been in it for a while, or they've been through it and out the other end. They'll probably understand why I'm going to click that. Okay, cognitive dissonance. Contradictions are used in conditioning members to accept the group's doctrine or mechanisms. The act of accepting and rationalizing these contradictions is an important element of brainwashing. Now, I don't like the word brainwashing, because the brainwashing is actually a term that was created by the CIA themselves as part of an information, like, influence fucking program. to do with the Korean War. Okay, so I don't like using that term, but I think we all know what it means. So, the contradictions are used in conditioning members to accept the group's doctrine or mechanisms. Well, there's a lot of contradictions, and they are accepted, and it's amazing to watch the gymnastics that some of these people go through to try and rationalize them. The act of accepting and rationalizing contradictions is an important element of brainwashing, and I would have to click yes. I could do a whole video on this to explain why I'm clicking on this, and maybe I will at some point. Charismatic leadership. Emphasis is placed on the leader or leaders. These leaders can issue commands. Okay. Every single fucking group and movement has charismatic leaders, and an emphasis is placed on those leaders. So I'm not going to click that one. It doesn't deserve a point. Deception in recruiting. When one is involved in the group, lies and deceptions in the recruiting material are soon apparent. Okay, I don't like this word deception, right? Because it sort of suggests like intentionally misleading, and it doesn't really work like that when people are like balls deep in an ideology or a worldview, right? I would prefer to change this word deception here to untruths. Okay, so there's untruths and misinformation and bullshit used in recruiting. Absolutely. When it comes to this, there's absolute utter misinformation used. When one is involved in a group, lies and deceptions in the recruiting material are soon apparent. No, they're not soon apparent, and they wouldn't be in. They're not really in any group. Okay, if you're balls deep in a fucking group, right, like a cult or a really tight ideology, you can't really see the lies and deceptions. Once you start seeing them, that means you're on your way out, and you're out of the group, and you leave. That's where it ends up heading, pretty much. So yeah, like there's misinformation, there's bullshit. However, anyone that's still in the group believes that bullshit and that misinformation. So when they're passing it on, they're not really lying and deceiving. They're just passing on absolute bullshit. But I'm going to click it anyway because I think in the spirit of how that question was, it definitely applies. Okay, exploitation. People work for virtually nothing, usually to the profit of the leaders. Like I say, I'm not involved in these groups or anything, but I have noticed that there's a few people that, like, the leaders. If there's a march or something, they're up at the front. They're the ones that get fucking the coverage. They're the ones that get the praise, and they get the fucking compensation, right? They get the funding and all this sort of shit. But I can guarantee you there's a shitload of people doing a shitload of work, and probably a lot of them are getting burnt out, right? Because this is just based on all fucking organizations that like have this feel to them and have this kind of look. There'll be a lot of people doing a lot of work for absolutely fuck all, and I don't mean like money. I mean actual recognition and praise and shit like this. It's basically you come into these kind of groups, you get that love bombing, you fucking work your arse off, you're part of a group and stuff, and then after a while you start going, hang on, like these same people keep getting all the praise and fucking benefits, and where's my shit? Where's my fucking brownie points? So I'm gonna click that because I'm pretty sure. I wonder if there might be even some people who watch this channel that are involved in these organizations, and if they've been doing it for a while, I'd be interested to hear. Do they get any compensation for the work they do? Do they get any recognition? Because I'd say it probably falls on the leaders of their big YouTube followings and shit, and Patreon accounts. All right. Separation from friends and family. People are invited to stop talking to friends or family who do not encourage their participation in the group. I have seen this go on. I've seen this mentioned by some of the bigger YouTubers. I but it's not absolutely fucking part of the doctrine, so I'm not going to click it. But there's some notable YouTubers who do say to their followers, I've seen it in their comments, sort of going like that, you know, they should kind of maybe be more involved with fellow vegans and less involved with those who don't participate. All right, non-critical thinking. Doubting questions about the mechanisms or doctrine of the group are deflected or rejected. Usually one must experience or be a leader to understand. Well, there is no room for really for critical thinking within this movement at all. There's only very few people on YouTube who do actually kind of, within the movement as such, who criticize it. And they get routinely shit on, and they're basically outsiders. So I'm going to click that. Okay, discrediting outside information. Any criticism from the outside is wrong. Only people on the inside really know what the doctrine or mechanisms are all about. Absolutely discrediting outside information, okay, and not even criticism. There's whole channels dedicated, right, to just going out and finding a video or a person who isn't even actually like criticizing veganism. They're just promoting something that isn't veganism, okay, like, and these channels will just do video after video about this person, normally like really attacking them and sending out the flying monkeys to go and shit all over their comment section. Anything that is not even criticism, but anything that threatens this outlook, anything that, going back here, what was the words used as perfect? Yeah, the doctrine is presented as infallible, right? Anything that exists, right, fucking on YouTube, that is a threat in any way to this infallible doctrine is fucking attacked, like it's swarmed by killer bees and shut upon. So it's not even a case of discrediting outside information, it's outright attacking outside information. So we'll click that one. Okay, loss of independent judgment. The person must rely on other people, usually people above him in a hierarchy, before making any kind of decision, even personal decisions. That doesn't really apply, but this kind of gets me to say one thing I find interesting is a lot of these sort of like these bigger YouTubers, I'll even see them asking their viewers like what they think, almost as if like it's weird. Maybe I'll do a video on it. I'm not going to click that one. Alright, fear of leaving. The group promotes the idea that leaving the group is a very bad decision, which may make the members' futures life hellish. In religious doctrines, literally hellish. Okay, I'm going to click this one. If I could click it 10 times, I would click it 10 times. This is the number one fucking criticism that I would have, or qualifier of it being a cult, right? This is the worst thing in this particular organization is, or movement, is you're either in it or you're not. It's blood in and it's blood out. To the point where, and this is absolutely fucking serious, right? If you don't know much about it, like look into it, right? If you might have been a vegan for fucking 5 years or 10 years, right? If you ever leave this group, okay, you were never a vegan. History is rewritten, right? You basically, it's not a case of you left this group, you were never in it, right? So like, anyone that leaves this group has never been a member. Okay, can you get your head around how insane that is? If you ever break the code of veganism and you leave it, you were never a vegan in the first place. So, like I say, I'll click this fucker 10 times if I could. Alright, sleep deprivation. The group forces its members to work unusually long hours. Sleep deprivation can also be helped. Okay, That doesn't count. All right, so let's compute the results and see what we have. Okay, we have 18, and I think that was out of 25 or something. Does it say? Okay, I'm not sure. But, okay, as it says, as mentioned above, if you accumulate more than 10 points, then it's definitely a cult. So we've got 18 here, so that's almost twice a cult. This is almost double cult. Okay, mainstream religions are mostly located between 5 and 10 points, and normal organizations below 5. Okay, so in this scientific fucking test here, we have veganism, the movement, specifically YouTube veganism, coming out with 18 points on the cultism scale. Okay, so that's almost double cult. Just a little disclaimer here, this test is not completely precise measure, but precise enough to act as a warning sign. Okay, so you've all been warned. Catch you later.
I'm just here to support animal rights.
No, I just want to find out about my health. Because this didn't work, this destroyed my health, and I'm just trying to care for the planet and my health.
Do you guys want to start no group at all? No, it's just independent trollers. For trollers? For drinking milk here and eating raw meat at animal rights center? Does everyone have to be vegan in order to support animal rights? No, but at least be courteous to the cause that we're here for. What are the prerequisites to be here then? Not to eat? I was just thirsty, man. I just came from the store.
I just have a question.
Sure.
How can you say you support animal rights when you literally pay to contribute to their suffering?
Because I eat grass-fed cows, grass-fed beef that comes from grass-fed cows, and they live, I know where the farm is, and they live a very happy, healthy life.
So that justifies slitting their throats because of taste pleasure.
It's not, it's for their nutrition.
We can get nutrition without eating animals.
No, you can't. You can't get vitamin K, A, or D.
Where do you get justification from? What justifies?
Or heme.
We're all just dying.
Yeah, we're all sick.
We are terrible. 2.5 years vegan.
None of you guys look very healthy, to be honest.
Seriously?
That's
I don't look
interesting.
healthy. Do you know how old I am? You were just walking.
My milk. That's
You
all I
were
wanted to do.
supporting animal rights on a whim with your goat milk.
I live around here,
Yeah.
so yeah.
If you support animal rights, you would respect their right to
Yeah,
live, and
we
you
eat
clearly
grass-fed
aren't.
animals. I know where this came from.
What's that? We fucking eat plants. What does that mean about us?
It was a healthy animal.
If you didn't want
It was
this done yourself,
grass-fed.
why would you do this to another animal? Why?
So then why can you kill an innocent human?
Why is this more? It's not morally justifiable. This is why Jeffrey Dahmer was convicted.
So are you pro-life?
What does this have to? What you're saying? It doesn't.
Would
matter
you
what
ever kill?
believe.
Would you ever kill a baby?
What? Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what you believe.
Legal abortions are only done to unsentient fetuses. You understand that? They aren't sentient.
How do you know they're not sentient?
They're science. Do you know what science is?
So at what week? Tell me, what week does a baby have sentience?
At like month number.
What you're saying is that this.
Okay, so all abortions after month 2 are bad? And they shouldn't be done? No, they're not. No, it's up to 6 months. Roe v. Wade legalized.
Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. No matter what you believe.
That's wrong. It's not 2 months. It's 6. Google it up. Well, have you tried? Because I don't believe what you're saying is real. Cellulose will kill you. Plants will kill you.
Do you know what the #1 killer in the world is?
Tell me, since you know everything.
Heart disease.
From plants.
You know that?
Yeah.
From plants, really?
Yeah, it comes from plants.
No, cholesterol comes from eating animals.
No.
We already create our own cholesterol.
No, cholesterol will save you. It will heal you.
Our own cholesterol. Then how is it clogging arteries and killing people? Tell me how.
What?
A plant-based diet is the only proven thing to reverse heart disease, the #1 killer in the world.
That's
Wouldn't
not
that make
true.
it? Yes, it is.
Look at primitive people. All they eat is whale blubber.
And guess what? They live to like 25,
No, they don't.
long enough to reproduce.
They drink blood and eat fat, and they live a long time. And their
I see
teeth.
you have a camera and you want to talk about living like a caveman who lived to like 25 long enough to reproduce? Are you a caveman? I don't think so.
So since I'm not a primitive person, I can't use a camera.
I don't think God would like you using that movie camera. Are you going to put it down? Are you going to break it?
Yeah.
What?
Put it on me.
If you want to have something interesting to say.
Sure. It's just really sad that you need attention. I'm really sorry.
It's like hiring a hitman.
It's full of E. coli and salmonella.
Well, your taxes.
I'm really concerned for your health.
You know
And I'd like to see the day someday, see the light and go vegan.
Yeah, we all do. And most of us are against that.
You know what?
Against that as well.
You have the right to be here. It's all good.
You already agreed, yeah,
And
but
you
we
have
don't, I
a
don't have any
point of
control where my tax dollars go, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you
then
think
how
I don't
do-
want to go into war because I don't.
How do I control my taste buds then from wanting nutrition, from wanting milk?
It's from conditioning. You grew up eating these things.
I was actually vegetarian my whole life.
Vegetarian? It's the same thing. You're eating animals. You're paying for animals to be abused. Same thing.
Well, how come I love red meat? How come I love raw fish? Why do I love
There's people who eat dead sharks. I can love dogs.
Are they
Jeffrey
rapists?
Dahmer loved eating young men.
Are they rapists though?
Yes.
Yeah.
So according to
they
you guys,
are.
I'm a rapist?
Yes.
You're
Well,
paying
the
for
cops
it.
are
You're
right
paying
there.
for it.
You guys should report me for being a
Eventually it'll
racist.
be a law, and then you'll be on the outside, buddy. Get
Sounds
on
like
the right side of history.
totalitarianism.
We were
Sounds
just
like
talking about somebody raping.
You guys are authoritarian. Why are you trying to push an unhealthy diet on me? I want to live. We want to live. Why are you trying to kill me with your diet?
That animal wanted.
for being a
Eventually
racist.
it'll be a law, and then you'll be on the outside, buddy. Get
Sounds
on
like
the right side of history.
totalitarianism for being a
Eventually it'll
racist.
be a law, and then you'll be on the outside, buddy.
being a
Eventually
racist.
it'll be a law, and then you'll be on the outside, buddy.
being a
Eventually
racist.
it'll be a law, and then you'll be on the outside, buddy.
being a
Eventually
racist.
it'll be a law, and then you'll be on the outside, buddy. Get
Sounds
on
like
the right side of history.
totalitarianism.
We were
Sounds like
just talking.